So it's time to thread the danger towers. But first I gotta take a look at, make sure everything's okay up on top side. So there was a little yanking on them. Oh, looks good. What I should keep in mind is the floor is not glued in yet. So why don't I do the smart thing and pull it out of there. And I do need 2 single cool white LEDs right at the base of the tower. Exposed point lights in mechanism base, same blink as ball warm. Oh. Interesting. So with the Tamiya handy drill, we'll get that going. But first a test. So the idea was 1 solid, which I can see, 1 full blink, and 1, so that one's the brightest. Oh, I see the constant one now. Oh, nice. That is the exact effect. I can't wait to see that in place. Let's plug the rest of them in real quick. Just randomly set into place. Nice. So freaking nice. That is the exact effect. The one difference I would do if I had to do this again, and I will be doing this again, is that on the red ball I painted the inside of that black. I should not have. I should have left that bare white and done as little red on the outer side as possible so that those points would be making the whole thing luminesce. I can't wait to see this in place. So the drawing suggests there's 2 points. They're either on the front corners or at the sides. I'm going to go with the sides as most likely. And confirm the notes. Foot of the base, right on the side. Oh no, I completely missed out on drilling the 2 side holes into here. So it's up 2 pieces of fiber optics now. And so while this white glue sets, holding these 2 new fiber optics in place and the others, we installed all of these guys here. Each of these LEDs is running off another blinking LED somewhere else. Sometimes on the same timing, sometimes not. It's an interesting phenomenon. What these will be doing is driving all the LEDs over in here in these guys. Well, on the set, these were actually single pipes leading up to an old style siren glass with 3 smaller light bulbs inside it, all going off at different rates. Each of the rates on each of the towers seem to be different to me from the research that I've done watching all the video. Over here on the Danger ball itself, this was on a rotating gimbal, and this was always swinging around in some ways. That could be done. Maybe for the next time I do this, I'll try it. However, there are 9 points of light in here, and essentially this is not quite as translucent as the glass is, but it's close. And what happens is when each of these bulbs lights up, it also lights up a portion of the ball around it. Back when I initially did this piece, I hadn't quite been expecting that I would be doing what I'm doing with it now, and I painted the insides black to light-proof it. Big mistake, because now I'm stuck with a somewhat limited effect. The idea still works, the premise is there, but the effect is not. So over the last half hour or so, I went and mapped everything out. In the case of the Danger Towers, there's 3 strands of fiber optics encoded inside a piece of clear heat shrink that I then ran over with a red Sharpie marker. And I may have to do it again as well. Each of the fiber optics is set at a slightly different height, and because of the way that I put the bloom on them, they're all a little different angled. What I then went and did, and it's not going to be visible on camera, is took each of these fibers and gave them a 1, 2, or 3 hashes to represent the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary as far as the effect goes. Primary, each one goes on a different of these dimming LEDs. Secondary goes on to the opposite of the dimming LEDs. And then the tertiary goes on a standard blinking LED. Next up, we have 2 single strands that go to the far sides of the base. And so with 9 fiber optic points in the sphere, one of them faces completely away from the only angle you can see from when looking through the ship when it's assembled. 4 others are the perimeters that you can see, and then 4 others are the primary face of the diamond there. And then of course there's the one single fiber back here that will never be seen by human eyes once it's installed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bundles of lights going to 6 different LEDs. First up, we'll start with the Danger Tower. Primary, secondary, tertiary. Next, and next, primary, secondary, fortunately they're marked. Alright, so I'm going to have to trim these down to fit them, it looks like, and I don't quite know if I'm ready to go quite that far. Now, one thing I hadn't thought about when I did the markings was that I'd have to trim the lengths down and thus lose the marking. Why don't I do some of the easier ones first, like these guys. Always have your fingers on the other ends of the fiber optics so you can catch them. So the new way to categorize them is by length. Short for primary, medium for secondary, and longest for tertiary. There we go. Are you guys ready for a look? I sure as heck am. And I'm sure I'm going to have to adjust the camera to be able to see it. So once this is sealed up, here is the only angle this will ever be seen at, ever.